That tastes like promotion. Town are going up. Welcome to another edition of the Kings of Anglia Fan Social. What a week it has been as a Town fan. Goodbye, League One. Hello to the Championship. I'm joined by Peachy and Steve as we reflect on a day that I'm sure a lot of us remember for the rest of our lives. What a day it was. Hope everyone just have been soaking it all in. What a day. Just what a day. Still buzzing from it. Peachy, let's just get right into it. With the brackets over your name, Peachy, promotion, my friends.
Had to be done. I'm still on cloud nine. I think it has finally started to sink in now. I think apart from being at work every day, I've worn something with my Town crest on or a Town shirt. I'm still grinning from ear to ear. Really, it's like I said on game day. It's 23 years. We've got to really enjoy this moment, and it could get even better on Sunday at Fleetwood.
It could indeed. Also, a big shout out to our sponsors at Manscaped and Ginger Pickle. Big shout out to Tone, he's a big Town fan as well, so I'm sure he's loving life at the moment as well. But Steve, a man based in the southwest, you were there on Saturday. How's things?
Hey, good. Thanks, Ross. I'm like a lot of people. I've probably spent most of my work lunch hour watching Town in 25. You watch most of them once, but this one, it seems to just keep giving and keep giving. I actually notice new things every single time. So yeah, I'll probably be watching it again tomorrow lunchtime, to be honest. And it has sunk in, but it's a nice thing to wake up and remember as well after 4 years of trying to get out of this division. So yeah, great week.
Yeah. And of course, everything's been said about the day. And you know, in a way, it never get boring because it is 23 years since our last promotion, as you said, Peachy. But let's reflect on the great day. You know, as a fan yourself for a long, long time, the start of the day was unbelievable, wasn't it? You know, the coach arriving.
Yeah.
Then the game itself was the perfect game, wasn't it? 6-0, 5-0 up in the first half. Just cruising to promotion. And then afterwards, to see a team actually, you know, celebrate a promotion, you know, just reflect on the day as a whole, my friend.
Yeah, well, it all started. I normally drive to home games, but I wasn't driving for this one, so got the train. No, obviously got into Ipswich about 12 o'clock, straight in the pub. But I said to my mates and my dad and my wife, I'm not going to drink too much before the game because I want to remember everything about today. Do you know, some people they've been on it since like 9 o'clock, but then obviously when I was in the pub, I was seeing the photos from the fans welcoming. That was mental. That was. I mean, I think I heard on the main pod. You expect like a few hundred people to turn up, a few little smoke bombs. It was carnage. It was chaos. But if you're a player on that coach and you see that and you think, bloody hell, this is what this club is about. You know, it's been all built up over years for this all to come out. So like then once the players got in, I got on the ground about 2:30. It was done after like 20 minutes. We're 3-0 up. We could start celebrating. But after the second goal, I think for every other goal, I was in a different row hugging different people. Football does that to you, I think. Like you just start hugging random. Well, I've seen these people all week, every game, sorry, but yeah, I was going 2 rows back, 2 rows forward, just hugging everyone I could find. And then when the final whistle went and the players started coming out and come around again, they're playing the music. That's when I had a few tears in my eyes I think my wife looked at me and said, "You're right." I said, "Yeah, I'm just so happy." And also, sorry to segue with that, the video come on Twitter that dad and his son, it was Richard Ward, his name is. Seeing that kid cry, that set me off again that night when I was watching it back. But like the celebrations, like Wolfie and Mr. Clark setting off a few chants that has ruffled a few feathers north of the border, shall we say? But if it's the other way around, they'd be loving it, wouldn't they? I know I was at the time, and like I think one of the best moments for me is when they played Queen, "Don't Stop Me Now," and the whole North stand just went off, and you see it in Town in 25. It's just like I try and bottle them emotions up so I can try and feel them again, but you can't. And it's just trying to remember all different bits of the day. And yeah, I'm getting all a bit not emotional. I'm getting all blooming now about it. I'll let Steve take over.
Yeah, Steve, did you cry? Come on.
Do you know? Actually, I didn't, but I did start welling up a little bit at the final whistle of the Barnsley game. I was watching it on iFollow, but because it felt like not that we were up, but that we'd put it in our hands to win it in front of our own fans or to win promotion. So, and I was so nervous about both Peterborough and Barnsley, and it just felt like two massive steps. And if you're a Sheffield Wednesday fan watching that, you must have been gutted because they would have thought we slipped up. Do you know what was interesting about Saturday was I was at the Wycombe game on Good Friday, and walking down, I tend to go to the Greyhound beforehand and walk down, maybe stop at the Arcade Tavern, and the town just felt like a powder keg that day, waiting to blow. There was obviously another big crowd, sun was out, everyone was excited, we were on a really good run, and Saturday was the lid coming off. And what I really enjoyed, to be honest, is so I'm old, all right. I'm going to be 50 in July. You know, although the scrumpy and Bristol air has kept my skin young, I've been around. I've seen a few things. So I was there in 91, 92. And then we had 3 years in the Premiership, although let's not say much about the third season. Then I was there when Burley started. So playoffs, 97, 98, 99, 2000, Wembley, finishing 5th. All those wins on the road in that first Premier League season. Then 2 seasons in the UEFA Cup, because I'm old, but I'm not old enough to remember the Robson years. So I've had some fun being a Town fan, but the people I'm most pleased for, well, it's people your age, Ross, to be honest. It's people who've, you know, if you've started going to watch Town in the last 20 years, you've fed off scraps. You know, we've had 2 playoff defeats under Royal, 1 under Mick, League Cup semi-final, won the FA Youth Cup in 2005, but that's pretty much it, isn't it? And that's a disgrace, really, for our club of our heritage and size. So to go, I did catch the end of the coach arrival, which was, like Pete said, it was is extraordinary. And there were so many kids, teenagers, lads and lasses in their early 20s. And this club always had a big fan base because of its history, but it felt like it had lost a connection with the town and the county, really. And that's back. And it's really back. And yeah, I know the media team at Town were probably wincing when they saw Clark and Wolfen leading those fruity songs. But tell you what, give me 2 local lads who that was the first thing they thought of, as opposed to all the mercenaries we had under Mick who maybe didn't even move to the area and couldn't really care less. So I mean, it was just, I mean, you couldn't script it. We were in the pub beforehand going, oh no, what if it's 1-0 at the 90th minute and next to get a corner? And then of course by half an hour all of that's gone. And yeah, it's one of those days where you just keep looking and catching the eyes of strangers, like when the 4th and the 5th went, and you're going, what's going on? And then being bundled down between steps, and I got picked up by a big guy, and it was just amazing. And I could have stayed in the ground for hours. Yeah. What? I'm grinning now just thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm buzzing from just all the words you're saying, even what Peach is saying, and I'm sure the listeners are too. You know, if you are traveling to Fleetwood right now, if you're listening, safe travels. If you're listening on the Friday, then enjoy it as well. But yeah, as you mentioned, Steve, like the new generation, the last 20 years, like including myself, you know, we've had a few little moments where we're like, oh, that was good. You know, probably the peak for me was the League Cup semi-final, although we lost in the second leg. Then, you know, the playoffs, like Joe Rawls football was great. You know, we're going to score more than you. Mixed playoff season. That was okay for an extent, but it was very much, okay, 1-0, we're done. That's fine. But we always knew we probably weren't going to win that, were we? But yeah, that's one thing, Pichu. You know, the community is back now as well. Like, I just see all the pubs, like they got flags of Ipswich Town, even just random like shots. They're just like, we support Ipswich Town or whatever. It's great to see.
Yeah, it is. Like, I mean, you go in some pubs, you've got to wait more than 10 minutes to get a blooming drink now, you know? Yeah, I went to the Black Horse, other pubs available, but because I was going to go to the Greyhound, but that was rammed after like 12 o'clock, wasn't it? But yeah, just that gives the whole place a buzz. And like, even when when I walk around Newmarket, I see so many more Town shirts, and like, you just bump into people and say, all right, like, Sunday morning, I was driving out of Newmarket for Exton, and I saw 2 guys in a Town shirt. So I'm whacking on my car horn, going out the window, and they both set up the Town back. It's just
next door's cat.
I was throwing up. So I was like, sorry.
Get out.
Oh, sorry.
Little special guest there.
Yeah.
Little special guest.
Yeah, like I said before, like this club it's been waiting to take off, and Saturday was that day. And if he's like I said, I kept walking around my Town shirts all week. I was feeling so proud to be a Town fan. You know, I can't wait to see my mate who's a Norwich fan. I didn't see him this week, unfortunately, but I will be mentioning it to him. And like even when I was in Thetford Forest on Monday for my nephew's birthday, wearing a Town shirt, and a Norwich fan went to me, up the Norwich. I went, see you next season, mate. That was my just nice and easy response. But I'm thinking of my favourite part of the day, and I didn't realise it until I watched some videos back. And it's Carl Edwards' little dance when they're in front of the board where it's got promotion.
Yeah.
It's just that's just him all over in it. But yeah, that made me smile. I was living rent free in my head all day. But then like I kept getting my phone out. All new videos are coming up, checking all the videos. I'm still doing it now. Like I got back from work, like all my I favourite them all, like my tweets. Just looking for them all. Like the player, I think it was mentioned, like the players could have gone into London and celebrate. They actually came out in the town, and like you had McKenna and the staff down Isaacs. It's just like I say, it's got that community feel back. The players care about the community and the fans. The staff do, the owners do, and that's reciprocated back. Like the fans, they've come back in their droves, and I think Mr. Ashton was quoted saying last night that I've looked at the capacity of Portman Road, because I do believe we could get 35,000 at least. Well, maybe at least
40. Come on, 40. Come on.
Yeah, got to be 40. But I'd like to say, it's like I say, it's been ready to go, this club, and it has. And I couldn't be happier, especially like I say, as Steve said, for the younger generation who've seen a lot of dross and a lot of, I'll say it, shite. I'm sorry to bleep that out, but they have, and like players been here not caring, and it's pains me to say, like one of our highlights last 10 years was a goal against Norwich in the playoffs. That's not really for me.
That we eventually lost.
Exactly. So, that moment, yeah, it was a great moment, but it didn't mean nothing. It meant nothing that season. But now we've got moments this season, and like I say, I personally feel we'll be playoffs next year. I really do believe that. Clip it up, sir.
Yeah. Well, Steve, Peter's already sort of mentioned it, but let's talk about the players, because this is, what a bunch, a special team we've got. Relatable players, you've already mentioned Luke Wolford and Harry Clark, the local lads, but like Sam Morsey, just everyone part of that celebration. You can just see, like, I'm sure Town in 5 and Town in 25 and all the other videos that are out there, you can just pinpoint every player, like different moments, their emotions, and just how together they are and how they are together to the fan base as well. It's just we knew this anyway from this season, from different moments this season. I know we've had a few ups and downs, but they're just such a special bunch, aren't they?
Yeah, and I kind of want the season to carry on for another 5 weeks, because I think we'd finish 10 points clear. But the season is the season. What I really liked as well, there's so many things I like about that Town in 25, but to see people like Edmondson, Evans, see Luco in the celebrations, because if obviously without this incredible run we've just been on, we certainly don't finish in the top 2. But I remember back to Burton away, probably our most difficult game of the season. If you look at how much we're under the cosh, Harness scores the winner, Harness at Exeter sets one up, scores the other one. And he's faded, which is a shame. But without those efforts, like Lee Evans earlier in the season when it was him and Morsey bossing the midfield, without those contributions, we don't get the points tally we do now. And just you can just sort of tell from their body language and the way they celebrate goals together, the way they smile, the way George Hurst has, George Hurst feels like an Ipswich player now. And he who knows what happened in the transfer market, but it feels like it's his home now. And just the way people like Broadhead have settled in, and I could watch this team play. It's no coincidence that we're getting much bigger crowds than we were in the division above with previous managers. They went down a particular functional path, but no one wanted to watch it. Whereas our ground's not big enough now. I had so many people trying to buy my season ticket off me for the Exeter game. People coming out the woodwork left, right, and centre trying to get tickets, and if we're in the Premier League, we could easily get 40,000 every week. I wouldn't want the ground to be that big, because then if you go down, you've got a natural drop off. But we're certainly it's not big enough at the moment.
Yeah, it's exciting times. And Peter, I want to bring you in now to sort of talk about the people behind the scenes, because there's some unsung heroes from even the analyst team. They've got some great people there, Charlie Turnbull and co. Don't know all their names off the top of my head, but they do some great work. And of course, you've got the likes of Mike O'Leary, Mark Ashton, obviously. I think Luke Warren does a good job as well. Then the owners as well. And it's great to see that everyone was there and they enjoyed that. The owners sort of just sat back and just sort of watched what they've just created and what they've achieved. Like I'm sure they've had ambitions to get out of this league sooner rather than later. It took them maybe a little bit longer than planned. And last year was the time, weren't it, to really get up. We failed, but this year, massive success.
Yeah, I think because the club put a tweet out, didn't they, about the analyst team, and the amount of players who like retweeted it or made a comment. You don't realize how important them guys are. And you saw what Mr. Ashton, he was loving it, in the dressing room with the players. Don't blame him because he's put in the hard graft. I'm sure he's done like a lot of long days. But I think with the owners, this is just the big. We all do it. They say this is just the beginning. This they want to go higher and higher. And I know they've like put the money in. And Mike O'Leary, he's just like that. Your granddad. I could listen to him all day talk. He's just such a nice, calming influence. And I get the impression that if Mr. Ashton's feeling a little bit what's the word, getting a bit annoyed with things, or he needs to calm himself down, he'll ring Mike O'Leary and he'll say, calm things down, this will happen, that will happen. Even like the town media team, the way they put all this, like all the videos out and all that, that helps connect the fan base as well. Because I know myself, loads of other people have been refreshing Twitter all Sunday, just looking for more videos and more content, and that seems like they've connected the club even more through the social media as well. And like so I'm getting a bit lost of words again, but it's a massive team effort from everyone. And it just shows what happens when everyone pulls in the same direction, what can actually happen with a football club. It's all like having the money and buying the league. But look at the way we play football, the way we've got players in for our recruitment side. Look at Chelsea. They've spent, was it $500 million? They're doing really well in the Premier League, aren't they? It just shows that money does not buy you success. It's the team that has to go with it.
Yeah, and Steve, to sort of round off this, because once again, we could sit here for hours and hours and just, wax lyrical of this unbelievable team, a special team. But the stats don't lie either. The stats are fantastic. We've got going to be 100 goals, 100 points. Connor Chaplin could win the Golden Boot. Golden Glove for Christian Walton. There's so many other stats out there we can chuck out, but just sort of round off this great chat. I've enjoyed this.
Yeah, like I said, I'd love the season just to carry on, but now we can be excited about next season, because I tell you what, I bet we'll be surprised at who we target in the transfer window and who comes in. Because having said everything about the togetherness and the warmth and everything, another thing I like about the current situation is the ruthlessness of the club, and I mean that in a nice way, in that they don't stand still and say, well, that person's doing all right in that position, so we'll just carry on. Boom, in comes Harry Clark in the window, in comes Luongo, Broadhead comes in because we need to convert possession into goals. Hurst comes in for the same reason. And so that might mean in the long term that some players who we feel a lot of affection for now end up leaving or going out on loan. But if it takes the club forward, then that's the way it is. And I'm glad that we're not in. I don't want to name the players, but how many times, say 4 or 5 years ago, we were going, well, all he needs is one good pre-season, or maybe in 6 months' time he'll fulfil his potential, and it never happened, and that's one of the reasons we stagnated, and certainly one of the reasons we got relegated. So this new sort of drive, I love it.
Yeah, it's so good. And yeah, we've got one final game. Yeah, Steve, it'd be great if we could carry on, because at the moment we're riding a unbelievable roller coaster, which will continue, of course, in the championship. But you just one game to go and the season's done, just like that. Blink of an eye, season's done. But we have enjoyed a very enjoyable season indeed. Well, let's have a little pause here for some silly stuff with a strike before we look ahead to Fleetwood. And it's time for Peachy and Steve to go head to head. Who'll be crowned strike this week? Peachy, I think you've got a pretty good record. Steve, I'm trying to think. I don't think you've got a great record, or have you won?
No, but in the first one I did, we gave Bono a point incorrectly, as all my friends pointed out afterwards. So I was too slow to pick up at the time. So there you go.
Oh, what was it?
It was a percentage, but I was actually closer than him. But maths was never my strong point.
Me neither, mate. Me neither. So
I don't begrudge him the win. Lovely chat.
Yeah, right. Good chat. Bono enjoyed his time. He enjoyed it. Him and John, good old King of the North, were together watching promotion. They celebrated promotion together, like we all did, all the KOA army, and everybody just who were there. So, question 1: I don't know how to segue what we're just talking about, but Elliot Hewitt celebrates his birthday.
Oh, that was a bit of Suffolk, weren't it?
Hewitt,
Hewitt,
Hewitt, what?
Good to have.
Yeah. Currently at Mansfield, I think they're currently just outside the playoffs, so I think they need to win and someone drops points. But what is his middle name? Is it Chris, Jack, or Stephen? So is it either or your name or is it Jack? So Elliot, Chris Hewitt, Elliot, Jack Hewitt, or Elliot, Stephen Hewitt. Good old Elliot. Once another player that was sort of like signed with a potential, but just never really hit the heights, did he? Really
got injured, didn't he? I think we signed him when he was injured. That didn't help him.
This is a brilliantly random question, Ross. Love it.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Yeah, when a strike, it's birthdays or connection with a current story, or if we're playing a current team, or whatever. But yeah, Elliot Hewitt. How old is he now? I'm going to check his age while you decide on his middle name. Of course, as always, ladies and gentlemen, play at home. Always good to know how you get on, and will you beat Steve and Peachy? I'm just actually trying to find the answer as well, because that will be good. I've got a note down with all the answers. He's 28. He's 29 at the end of this month. 30th of May for people
Was he
asking.
like 5 when we signed him then, or something?
Must be, yeah. So 2012 he signed. So he must have been. What's that? That's 24. Was it 24 when he signed? No.
Not
So he left.
No.
No. What's the? Like, oh, tell you my math's not good. Doesn't matter. But yeah, he left in 2015. So he's been at Notts County, Grimsby, and he's now at Mansfield. But what's his middle name, boys?
I went with Jack.
I went with Stephen.
Ooh. The correct answer is Jack. Steve looked through my because I sort of used Chris and your name as sort of little hide place there, and I thought Peachy. I thought you know better than that.
I nearly went Stephen because I had a sudden feeling that it was, but
no. So 1-0 to Steve.
This
Question
will
2. Let's see. Question 2 is on Dean Gherkin, who celebrates his birthday this month as well. Another player from the Mick McCarthy era. He's 38 this month. I think he's coaching now at Bristol City or something like that. I know he's retired. He retired last summer. But how many clean sheets did he keep in 113 games for Town? And as ever, if you get it bang on, you get 2 points. Closest gets a point. So Peachy, an opportunity to take the lead here if you get it bang on. 113 games. How many clean sheets? Got an itchy nose, Slager. If you're watching a video, I'm itching my nose like a lot here, viciously actually. I don't know why. I ain't got possibly hay fever. I do suffer with hay fever, but it's too early for that, isn't it? It's too early for that. What was that? It can be all year round. Oh god, it's so itchy. It's not great audio, but this is just up. Yeah. Anyway, correct answer then, boys. What do you reckon?
I went 26.
You're absolutely joking. That's what I went for as well.
Oh wow, wow. That is great.
And you're both right.
You are both very, very close. So you both get a point, but the correct answer is actually 27.
Oh.
So that was close because we both got the double points here. That is incredible. Oh. I like that when it happens. So a point each. So it's 2-1 to Steve. Going into question 3. And question 3 is on a Spanish fullback defender. Can you guess who it is?
Cito Castro.
Yes, it is
Love
indeed.
Cito.
Yeah, has his birthday this month as well. What's his squad number?
Yes.
Peachy knows it. Is it 12, 15, or 19?
Because I'm that sad.
It's fine. It's fine.
The sweet Rush Prince would be very proud of me.
He would be. He would be very proud. And of course, good old Hutchie. Hutchie knows his squad numbers. Although I don't know if he would know that deep. I know he knows current ones and maybe random ones, but we know players from 2005 or 2008 seasons. Mm-hmm. So I think he was here for 3 seasons. Scored 1 goal. I was there.
Scunthorpe away.
Yes, it was. My only ever trip to Scunthorpe.
Same here. I was there too.
12, 15, and 19.
Yes, on the screen.
Right.
But for the listeners, actually, because just in case I didn't actually say, 12, 15, or 19, ladies and gentlemen, if you are playing at home. Peachy knows already, so Steve, take it away.
I went 12, but I changed my mind.
15. 15.
The correct answer is 15. What did you pick, Steve, originally?
No, I actually picked 19, so I was wrong both times.
That's fine. It's fine then. It's Desmond going into question 4. This is interesting. Now, once again, this is closest to the correct answer gets the point. If you get, bang on, then someone wins 4-2. And the question 4 is on a player from the 90s, Steve Sedgley, former captain as well. How many goals did he score for Town in 125 games? Midfielder, of course.
Not enough.
Okay, not enough. Yeah, true. Oh, once again, I didn't really know much. What was he like as a player? Because he was before my time. Did he sign from Spurs or something?
Yeah, we saw him in the relegation season, didn't we?
Yeah, it was an unremarkable era at the club, Ross. That's all I'll say. It was easy to be a star. How many games? 118? No.
On a screen. 125.
On my phone, it's too small.
That's what. Oh yeah, true. It would be. I didn't ever think of that actually. Well, I never thought of that actually. When people, if they're doing this podcast on their phone, they may not be able to see. 125 for the listeners out there again. How many goals?
I think I've gone too low, but I'm going to go with it anyway.
Fine. It's all competitions, by the way, just to put it out there. It's not just league games. All competitions, just in case someone flags up. Oh, he actually scored this amount of goals. That's in league, but all competitions. I don't know if he did score.
Nerves got the better of me. I've also changed my mind, but
It's fine. It's allowed because no one's shared their answer yet. Well, take it away then, boys. What do you reckon?
16.
Ooh.
I went for 9.
Ooh.
I think I'm too low.
Yeah, that is too low. If you double the 9, it's 18.
Oh,
that's the correct answer. So, Steve,
to be honest, I nearly went lower because we were rubbish then. So it doesn't necessarily mean he would have got a lot of goals being at the club that long.
Probably more Division 1 goals, weren't it? He scored.
Yeah, I'm gonna just for people out there and yourselves. I'm gonna quickly bring up the round off of these goals. So his first season was 1994-95, which would have been that relegation season. He scored 4 goals in the Premier League. Didn't score any in the cups.
Second top scorer then.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah, possibly. I don't know. You know better than me.
Got 5. He was the leading scorer. That's how bad that season was.
Wow. Then he scored 6 in the following season, 4 in the league, 2 in the cup, and then his final season, 7 in the league, 1 in the cup, so 8 in total, which calculate up to 18. So, Steve, you are the winner with default, but tiebreaker, he's always there. Are you going to gamble, son?
Yeah, why not?
Come on in. Love that. Good sportsmanship. So tiebreaker, as we've got an away game, the final away game of the season. How many away games have Town won in 22 league games? So Peach, you've got to get bang on to take the crown.
This season?
This season, yeah. So 22 league games, of course. Because we've had cup games, Burnley and Bracknell Town. Bloody hell, that was amazing. I can't believe this season we've been to Bracknell Town and Burnley. And we'll play Buxton as well. Tommy Miller, by the way, now assistant manager at South Shield. So big shout out to good old Tommy. Got an interview coming up with him soon called it Within Pictures.
Good old
Check
Tommy
out
Miller.
that. Love Tommy Miller. That's not a bonus question, by the way.
He knew how to take a penalty.
He did indeed. But does he know the answer of how many away wins? Because he would have, I think, because he did commentary a lot. He's actually Barnsley. He did co-cons for the club with Glenn. So yeah, but he's now at South Shields because with Julian Archer, who former Middlesbrough player.
Oh yeah,
Sunderland player. Sunderland player as well. I think he played for Sunderland as well.
Played both.
Both, yeah. Anyway, so I've dawdled along enough here. Let's get the answers. So, Steve, give us your answer as you're winning.
I put 12. It's probably wrong.
Okay.
I was going to put 12, but I put 11 instead.
Oh, well, someone's got it bang on, and that man is Steve. It is 12. So there we go. I was worried there if Peachy had it like bang on as well. I'd go, oh no, that means I'll have to find out a tiebreaker question.
I nearly put 12, but I thought I'll go half. Go half.
I was trying to go through it in my head, but I drew this blank between October and February. Maybe that's when we didn't win any.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm going to quickly bring up the games because we lost at Plymouth, of course, didn't we? We lost at Wickham.
Burton, Forest Green, Shrewsbury, Accrington, Charlton. No, not Charlton. Peterborough, Barnsley.
Morecambe.
got Morecambe, Port Vale,
Portman Road.
Exeter. Then you've got Milton Keynes, Bolton,
Of course, I was there.
and Peterborough Barnsley, as you mentioned. But then we lost. Lost against
Derby.
Oxford. Yeah, Derby. Yeah, lost against Oxford, Wickham, Plymouth, of course, which has been, yeah. And then, of course, we've only lost one home game all season, which is fantastic. I think that's going to be a record, isn't it? If we only 4 defeats all season, which is just incredible.
Shouldn't have lost any of them either, but never mind.
Yeah, it is what it is. And yeah, of course, we lost in the cups and stuff like that. We won't talk about the Colchester one. Ricky Marver. But Steve, you won, my friend. As always, speech.
Well, yeah, I've lost the previous 2, so I don't know. I hadn't got anything prepared. It's a shame to beat Peachy, actually, because I was telling him off camera, I always enjoy his level-headedness on the post-match ones. Not that I particularly want to beat anyone else who's on the KOA, but yes, thank you, Ross, and thank you, Peachy. It was enjoyable, and they were all guesses. So
good, like that. That's
Well
the aim of the game.
Well
the strike. Just guess. Well, we're talking about away games there as a tiebreaker, and the final game and the final away game of the season is, of course, in Fleetwood. We always sort of mark this in our calendar. Will it be a celebration on the beach for promotion, the title, and all that sort of stuff? Promotion's done, but the title is still on the line. Plymouth are going to be in Stoke or wherever Port Vale is. Where is it? Like, what's it called? Belmont? No.
Burslem, but it's
Burslem.
Stoke is like a weird. Stoke people are odd about it because Stoke is basically a collection of towns.
Yeah.
And Burslem, I guess, is one of them. But yeah, you have to be careful when you go there not to say, "Oh, you're from Stoke, aren't you?" No, I'm not.
No, not. But yeah, Plymouth are playing Port Vale, but we've got Fleetwood, who had a not bad season actually under Scott Brown last year. They just about stayed up on goal difference on the final day, so an improvement under Scott Brown and co. A few former town connections as well. Toto Enciala's there, Jack Marriott, Josh Earl, who got sent off and was very naughty when he was at Portman Road. And I think they've also got, what's his face? Got his face now. Corey Andaba, of course, is on loan there, but he won't be playing and hasn't played for a while. But the big question is, boys, are we going to win the league? Peachy?
Well, unfortunately, it's not on our hands. But I think the way the season's gone and the form we're in, I think Port Vale do us a favour. I think we'll win it. I mean, it would round the season off brilliantly. But this is no disrespect to Plymouth because fair play to them, myself included. And a lot of people said they're going to drop off. They'll drop off, but they haven't. They've just kept going and going. And I'd say fair play to them. They fully deserve promotion. But hopefully we'll pip them on the final day. But so it's my first trip to Fleetwood, and no disrespect to people from Fleetwood. Hope for my last. So I was lucky enough to get a ticket. Got the nice 5 o'clock start on Sunday to get up there nice and early. Then hopefully end up in Blackpool on the beach celebrating the championship. But who knows? Football's a funny old game, isn't it? Because I think if Port Vale can play like they did against us, as in put 11 men behind the ball and poo house and take them in chunks out the penalty spot, if Plymouth get a penalty, they might get a result for us. Because all we've got to do is better the result, haven't we? So if Plymouth lost, we only got a draw, but we're going to win anyway. So, yeah. Go on, Port Vale. Do us a favour, please. Pretty please.
Yeah, Port Vale, because they, once again, I wasn't alive when this happened. Didn't they beat us in the Anglian Italian Cup or whatever? So
yeah, Ian Bloody Bogey.
That is really his name, Bogey, or was it just
Yeah. And I'll never forget this because my favourite player at the time, Alex Maffey. I think he dislocated his shoulder in that game as well.
Yeah, check out in pictures, Alex Maffey. Little thing there. Steve.
Yeah, I can see us winning, and I can see them drawing. So it would. Yeah, I know what Peachy means. You have to admire Plymouth because it's going to end up with 3 teams, possibly 4, on in excess of 90 points. It's extraordinary, really, and we're the fortunate ones in that we've stayed the course better than Sheffield Wednesday. And I did think Plymouth would drop off, particularly once Whittaker left and Cooper got injured, but they've stuck up. They've stuck up there. However, it would be very nice to take the title off them because I think we are, on our day, if I can say that, a better team. And I would love to be playing them now. When we played them in January, Hurst was finding his feet. Luongo was injured, I think. I'm not sure if Broadhead arrived or was still being integrated. And
he he just got signed. Sorry to interrupt there, Steve. He just got signed, but then he wasn't able to play because I think he had a bit of a niggle. So yeah, it would have been a difference that day, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think if we played them now on the run we're on, we'd do to them what Peterborough did and Barnsley did at their places. So, but we get to play them again next season, and it's quite a good away trip. So, especially if you live down this part of the world. So, anyway, I'm rambling. Yes, we are going to win the title.
Okay. Well, we've sort of done this on the main pod, but I want to bring it to you guys as well. It doesn't matter, at the end of the day, what matters is P on the league table, promoted. But you want a nice little C, don't you, to celebrate? Because we've celebrated already. This team will be remembered for a long time, I'm sure. But Peachy, for you, would you like a nice little trophy to go with it?
Oh, of course. I'd absolutely. I'll say it would top the season. I've been like, but if someone said to me at the start of the season, I'll give you second, I'll slap the hand off. I was just getting out of this league, but I just think it's just written. I think that we'll do it. I mean, I'll probably like people will listen to this next week and think, well, that Pratt ain't got a clue, is he? But I know the way things are going, I think we'll do it. And all right, saying which player do we? If there's one player to score the goal, I've seen the story already. You see, because what happens is. Because as we've seen on many videos on social media, Mr. Clark has had a few beers this week, fully deserved. About 70 minutes, he's going to feel a bit dehydrated, a bit tired. And of course, my main man, the Don, Janoy Danassian, is going to come on. At this point, he comes on. Port Vale will equalise against Plymouth. And it will come out on the edge of the box. The ball's just gone up, 3 minutes. Ipswich Town got a corner. The ball just comes out the edge of the box and Danassian's there. And for once in his life, he's not going to pass it and be a team player. He's just going to absolutely thunder it. Bottom right corner, in front of the town fans. And it all goes off. We win the league. That's my dream. And I hope it happens. I really do. Because Janoy Danassian is one of the most unsung heroes in that team. He's such a team player. Solid 7 out of 10 every time. That's what people forget. When we signed Clark, we already had a brilliant right back, in my opinion, with Janoy Danassian. But now we've got 2 absolutely outstanding right backs. And the thing with Janoy is he can play left back, right back, or centre back. So I'm just making this all about Janoy Danassian, but yeah, he's going to be the man.
Okay. Oh, actually, do you know what? This could be the hot take section of the video and podcast. That is the next question we've got on our running sheet for this podcast. Who's going to score Town's 100th goal? And yeah, that's maybe the hot take of this game. Maybe Janoy. But Steve, who are you choosing? Maybe we'll get 100, 101, 102, 103, and so on.
Yeah, I like Peachy's scenario. Actually, it's much better than mine. I just think I have this feeling that Clark is going to score some sort of absolute net buster because he's obviously got it in his locker. For any of us who've looked at his YouTube reel before he signed for us, and it'd be a nice way to round the season off. Local boy sticks in the top corner. Just to go back, if I can. On one level, it doesn't matter that if we win the league, the title or not, because we just needed for the journey the club is on. We desperately needed to get out of this division and into a division where we can get more than 1,000 tickets in our away end, and we can buy a better caliber of player. Although Ashton's done a pretty good job at persuading people to drop down levels anyway. And I just think as well that there's this whole debate. Should we have a parade? Blah, 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 blah. And I think if you finish second, it is trickier to justify. But I would, for the reasons I said earlier, I actually would quite like to see, if we won the division, an open top bus thing. Because again, there's generations of Town fans have never seen. They've seen old black and white pictures of Mariner leaning out with the FA Cup or the UEFA Cup and Burley with the playoff trophy. But it's an experience they haven't had firsthand to see the Cornhill full and all the flags and anything. People might say, it's tin pot, but who cares? We're not going to put a star in our shirt for it, but we can certainly, the town deserves that sort of celebration. And so I'm rambling, but I think to justify that, I think you need to win the division. I think when things are promotions happen like that and people call you tin pot, it's just jealousy. Like them lot the road will say it. Maybe a few Chef Wednesday fans might say it or whoever. It's just, for me, that when someone calls you tin pot for that, it's just jealousy. A promotion is a promotion. Yeah. Celebrate it. That's my opinion. I hope they do parade. Someone said to me this week that Norwich had an open-top bus parade when they lost the playoff final in 2002, or was it another year? I don't know if that's true or not, but if that is true, then they can never call us tin pot for actually having a parade for winning something. But anyway,
No.
think about the next season.
What's in their honours list again? What's in the honours thing? UEFA Cup win against Bayern Munich or something?
I think it's that. Just a
Nothing.
blank page.
Just blank,
I think, yeah.
blank page. But yeah, I'm sure that's one thing everyone's going to look forward to next season. You know, the East Anglian derby's coming back. There's going to be a lot of, this sort of segues onto the final question for the podcast. What's one thing we're going to not miss from League One, but one thing we're going to enjoy from the Championship is, the historic sort of teams, the bigger teams. Of course, we're not being too, we're too big for League One, but we've been here for 4 seasons now. The League One tour, we had that in the first season, second season, third season, fourth season. This year was just like, please, just get out of this league. But Peachy, what's the one thing you're not going to miss? We're going to probably do this on other podcasts, but what's the one thing you're not going to miss?
The standard of refereeing. I'll be honest. I mean, I'm not saying I could be a ref or the Championship refs are brilliant. Not as good, but like some League One refs this year, I feel like a lot they're just guessing, and they've been very frustrating. And I think some are. I should be not trying to criticise them, but some get overtaken by the occasion, and all this. Like I think even McKenna made reference to it. Like they're not used to refereeing in front of big crowds, like at Portman Road. That's. I don't want to be too critical. That's a bit of a harsh thing to say, but that's my opinion because I know I'm obviously biased when I watch Ipswich, but some decisions have been baffling this year and years gone by. Like, I'll never forget the Wickham home game with a certain Alan Young. He disallowed our goal for nothing. He gave them a penalty that was outside the area, but he couldn't wait to give it. Yeah, refs. And also small away ends. And that's no respect to the clubs in this league because we were here for a reason. But like people trying to get a ticket for Fleetwood this weekend. Yeah, there's only, unfortunately, there's about 1,000 of us going. Mm-hmm. And then you look at MK where we took 7,000, didn't we? So bigger away grounds I look forward to. Sorry, I'm rambling again.
That's fine. That's fine, my friends. Everyone enjoys a bit of ramble here and there. And yeah, Steve, I think there's there can be a beanback at Portman Road. 5,000 I think tickets are gonna likely get sold. I think that's gonna be more than what's going to be at Fleetwood because I think Fleetwood only holds maybe 4,000, stuff like that. So that's just another big difference when we're going to go into the Championship, when we're going to have bigger away allocations, bigger grounds. Once again, I'll admit, I have enjoyed going to these smaller. I've gone to Morecambe twice, which has been a good experience, good weekend. Which, we'd never thought we'd ever play these sort of teams. Fair play to them to get to that level. We've just dropped down there because we deserve to go down there because of how the club was ran before and the players we had and just the performances. But you just never thought it would be for 4 years, and I never thought we'd be playing Forest Green. I think we bumped into each other, didn't we, Steve, when we went to Forest Green, and we just like couldn't believe what we were seeing. Like we're playing like Forest Green once again. Like fair play to them to get to a level. Of course, they found out this year it was too far for them. But yeah, what's the one thing you're not going to miss?
Yeah, we'll always have Forest Green in the sun.
Yeah,
in the baking sun. Yeah, I thought we didn't need a market that day. It was extraordinary. But yeah, I think just the games where the dark arts were deployed. I think on the one hand, you can't be too critical of a team. If a team looks at us and goes, right, they've got scoring goals for fun, they've got all these attacking threats. So what we're going to do is defend deep, time waste, generally cheat as much as we can. You can't blame them for doing that because we've seen this season that if teams came out and played us in an open game, they got slaughtered. But having said that, I wouldn't want to watch it. Wickham gets singled out, but there's a reason we couldn't. In the last 2 seasons, we've managed not to beat Cheltenham ever, have we? Like 4 games and they were all draws. No, we lost the first one, didn't we? And yeah, you can't criticise them for doing it because we're blessed with resources and a big fan base and a big stadium and everything. But on the other hand, it's horrific to watch. And when you are watching it live, it just takes years off your life. So what I'm hoping for in the division above is that we have teams that actually want to play football against us on a more weekly basis. It won't be every week, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, like, when we played Burnley, I think Vincent Company said that was two of the hardest games they've had this season. Of course, they've gone on to run away with the championship. They'll be playing Premier League football next season. But no, I'm looking forward to championship once again. Bring it on. It's been another great fan social. Boys, any other business from yourselves? We're going to mention, of course, the women's team. They've got a massive game this Sunday as well. A shame it has to be the same time, or it's a different time than the men, but it's on Sunday, 2 p.m. kickoff, but it's the same day where there'll be people at the beanback, people watching in Fleetwood, of course. So the crowd maybe not as big as they were hoping for because the game got postponed a month ago. But yeah, they've got a massive game against Oxford, AJ Arena and Felixstowe. If they win, they can win the title. They've got hope. Watford lose at Billericay or draw. And they will win the title, but then they have a playoff thing they have to do. Once again, I could be here all day discussing that. But if you're not going to the Beanbag or Fleetwood, go down to Felixstowe, go and support the girls. They've had a great season, and hopefully they can finish with a bang as well, just like the men. Peachy, then, any other business from yourself?
Yeah, a couple of things. Obviously, good luck to the Ipswich women as well. I echo those comments, and I think it's just again, after game day this on Saturday, just thank you to everyone at Kings of Anglia. Getting me involved. It's a great community. Everyone's welcomed me with open arms, and like I say, a big thank you to you, Ross, because the success you've made a game day and the fan social, and obviously thank you to Mark, Stu, and Andy, and obviously Mr. Bacon when he was here at the start of the season. It's just a brilliant posse to be part of, and I remember I used to watch these and watch game day, and then you asked me to get involved once. Everyone's been so welcoming, and yeah, it's just a bit of a loving, really. But yeah, it's just a massive thank you to everyone because everyone is brilliant. It's just everyone gets on. Well, we have disagreements about things, but it's not bad nature. It's a little debate. Agree to disagree, move on. Everyone still has a drink and have a laugh with each other at the end of it. So yeah, and again, just thank you.
No, big thank you to Peachy for your contribution this season as well. And yeah, I'll echo all that. All the guys who and lasses who have took part in game day and the fan social this year. Of course, we'll continue throughout the off season, bringing you specials and other podcasts and stuff. And as always want new voices, new faces as part of game day and KOA. So get in contact with me at Ross Media UK. Just be like Steve and Peachy right now, just chatting to me, having a chinwag about the team we love. Steve, over to you there, my friend. Any other business?
3 very quickly, because I need to say, yeah, thanks to Ross and the KOA team. And yeah, I said it to Peachy anyway. I really enjoy his contributions. I think you sum up really well what it means to be a Town fan at the moment. And there's passion. There's always passion when you talk, but it's also like edged with common sense, which not everyone has. Let's face it. 2 very quick things. I disagree with one thing you said earlier, Ross. I know the owners are humble and have always spoken in a very humble way. I would have quite liked to have seen them on the pitch because they did pay for it all. And without the investment we made in January, then I think we finished top 6, but not top 2. And they wanted to let the players and the manager take the limelight, but I think they would have got a decent reception. The only thing is you can't really make up chants about them, like Schwartz and Detmer. It's just hard to get a chant out of that. Johnson or Brett, you might be able to do something with. And the other thing is just I hope that people have, much as we've enjoyed this season, particularly sort of February, mid to late February onwards, I hope people appreciate the value of patience because I was at Bristol Rovers. It was a grim old night. I spoke to you then, Ross, and but there was a guy behind me who said he wanted McKenna sacked and Warnock in, and there's people giving Burns and Morsey abuse to their face. And we were on a poor run, but McKenna's the best manager we've had since Burley, in my opinion, and I think others would agree. And sometimes you just have to be patient. And I think next year we might not go on a however many gazillion game unbeaten run it is, and we're stepping up a level and it might be tough. And I just hope people are patient. And I still hope that the people that were abusive to McKenna that night were there on Saturday, and I hope they enjoyed it, and I hope they've sort of changed their minds about it. But yeah, I know it's modern football, and we all if we win we're brilliant, if we lose we're rubbish. But there's the trajectory of the club, having been around for a few decades, as I say, is only going in one direction, and it's there'll be bumps in the road. Now we've gone up, but I still think we'll challenge next year. That's it.
I like it. Bring it on. Bring on the championship. Of course, one more game to go. Fleetwood. Are we going to win the league? We shall see. Enjoy the game if you're going. If not, follow the game with us as always. With all the content we'll do online and on game day. And Andy and Stu react. Now me to do an outro and try not to flaff and fuff and all the other bits. Always support our sponsors. Manscaped, use the code KOA. You get 20% off and free delivery. And of course, big shout out to Ginger Pickle for all your SEO, Google ads, marketing needs. They're the goats of that. And also merch. I'm not wearing anything Kings of Anglia. I've got a mug, Kings of Anglia. There you go. This weekend, a discount is on. So if you want to get the badge and all that jazz, get some KOA merch. Always good to support Kings of Anglia, and good to be seeing you guys wearing hoodies and all that sort of stuff. And of course, follow us on all our socials: Kings of Anglia on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Follow Steve and Peachy on the socials as well. Peachy and Steve, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure doing the fan social this season. Of course, we'll do many more episodes throughout the off season, as I said. But yeah, enjoy. Thanks again for listening. Bye bye for now.